and band, strap, or cushion, anything that you can use inside of the ball. Finding your comfortable seated position. So if I'm seated on the chair, see if I can encourage a straighter, more lifted position, something that is not going to bring me forward, compress the belly, and prevent the diaphragm from working properly, so preventing it from descending and ascending. So I'm just going to try and see if I can lift myself up higher. If you're laying down, just using the mat, using the floor to guide you, supporting the head if you need to support the head, allowing the arms to roll out, palm of the hands turn to face up and towards the ceiling, legs straight or bent, whatever feels more comfortable for your hips and lower back. And then, same as usual, I'm just going to give myself a couple of breaths to help me feel the body. So, how is the pressure as I'm sitting on the chair? How is the pressure if I'm lying down on the floor? Do I feel straight or do I feel slightly wonky? Is there any tension anywhere? I might feel, yes, there is a bit of a niggle into the shoulder. Yes, a little bit of a soreness in the back. I'm not changing anything, just noticing what's there, how I feel, how I'm feeling today at the beginning of the class. And then start noticing the breath. So same as usual. Notice if you're up into the sympathetic fight or flight breath, so that it's coming up from the top of the chest, so that it's not going to allow me to drop, but it's not allowing me to relax. So if instead I can encourage the front of the chest or the front of the neck or the throat to soften, to let go, to relax, taking the breath down into the belly, so feeling the belly expanding on the inhale and relaxing on the exhale. So I'm not trying to push the belly out, I'm just letting the diaphragm do it. As it descends, it puts pressure into the organs inside the abdomen, therefore the belly gets pushed out. As I exhale, that pressure releases and so the belly comes in again. So I feel that the breath is a little bit more relaxed, the body feels a little bit more settled. I'm going to start to focusing on the shoulder joint. I'm going to start shrugging the shoulder, one shoulder at a time. I'm going to pull it up to the head and press it down and away. Pull it up to the head and press it down and away. So keeping the movement going, see if I can picture what's happening to the shoulder blade at the back. So see if you can think of the shoulder blades gliding up and down the back of the rib cage, just sliding smoothly over the back of the rib cage. There might be some clicks and pops. As far as there is no pain, I'm going to keep the movement going. If there is pain, if there is discomfort, I'm just going to ease off on the size of the movement. Maybe play with the position of the shoulder. If the shoulder is very much forward to the body line, as I pull it, it will tend to create quite a lot of tension into the neck. If I try and draw the shoulder back ever so slightly, the movement feels a little bit smoother, it glides a little bit better. And then once that I feel that the movement just starts feeling warmer, starts feeling better, then I'm going to start adding the neck. So as the shoulder depresses, as I press the shoulder down, I'm going to try and pull the head away from the shoulder. So encouraging a little stretch down the side of the neck. Then I'm going to ease back, shrug the shoulder up to the head, and at the same time bringing the head or the ear down to the shoulder. Then I'm going to try and pull them away and bring them together. Pull them away and then bring them together. So keeping the movement going, just making sure that again I'm not forcing, so there is no pain in the neck, there is no pain shooting down the arms, there's no tingling into the fingers, into the hand. If I'm laying down, I might want to use the other hand to help me carry the head so that the neck can really relax as much as possible. 2. And then on the last one, I'm going to try and pull the shoulder and the ear as far away from each other as possible. And then I'm just going to hold it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and easing back. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, resetting the head back to the center, and then I'm going to focus on the other shoulders. I'm going to shrug the shoulder up to the head, and then press it down and away. Lift it up, and press it down. So same as on the other side. See if I can picture the shoulder blade gliding against the back of the rib cage. Again, noticing any popping, any cracking as I'm moving. Is the movement smoother on this side? Is it stiffer? Does it feel more restricted, less restricted? As I feel again that the movement feels quite smooth, then I'm going to start adding the head. So as the shoulder depresses, as I press it down and away, I'm going to pull the head away from the shoulder, encouraging a gentle stretch down the side of the neck. Then I'm going to squeeze them together and then pull them apart and then squeeze them together again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one, I'm going to pull the ear as far away from the shoulder as possible, pressing the shoulder down and away from the head. Holding, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Coming back to the middle, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, making sure that the neck doesn't feel too stiff, and then I'm going to change the direction of the movement. So this time, focusing on the shoulder joint itself, see if I can create movement in the shoulder. So I'm going to start to taking one arm, it doesn't matter which one, up, and then I'm going to reach it over as far as I can. Then easing the arm back. With the other arm, I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to lift up, and then I'm going to bring it back. So keeping the movement going, see if you can, again, notice the shoulder as the arm comes up. If there is restriction in the shoulder movement, as the arm comes up, you will notice that the body tends to lean to the side and the shoulder tends to shrug up to the head. See if you can try and prevent that. So can I keep the shoulder down and away from the head? Can I try and reach the arm as high up as I can, but without stiffening the neck, without tensing, without tightening through the upper body? So it could be a little lift, it could be a big lift. It doesn't matter. So imagine to be reaching to the top shelf and then coming back and then reaching to the top shelf with the other hand and then come back. As I feel the movement starts getting a little bit easier, so I feel I'm moving a little bit better. It doesn't feel so heavy, it doesn't feel so forced. Then imagine the top shelf that you're reaching with the hand at the moment. What I want is there is a shelf above, one that I don't use very often. I want to try and get to that shelf. So I'm going to try and reach up to the top shelf and then see if I can stretch a little bit higher to that very top shelf. So at this point, my shoulder will come up to the head, will come up to my ears as I'm trying to get as high as I possibly can before I release down. Then the other side, I'm going to reach to the top shelf, and then I'm going to try and get to the one above. And then I'm going to release back. Same if I'm laying down. So imagine the arm, I can reach the arm so far, then I want to try and go a little bit further, and then come back. Then I'm going to reach the arm, the other arm, and then a little bit further, and then coming back. So almost as if I was trying to reach to the wall behind me. So I'm going to try and take the arm back, and then really trying to touch that wall, and then returning the arm back. 4, big reach. 3, big reach. 2. Last one. And releasing back. We're giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, relaxing the shoulders. I'm going to focus back onto the neck because I don't want to be on reach to create any tension into the neck. So I'm just going to see if I can start to focus in on a little rotation. So I'm going to turn the head to look over the right shoulder. Coming back, turn the head to look over the left shoulder. So turn to the right. And over to the left. So try to loosen up the side, the back of the neck as I turn the head from side to side. And then similar to what I did earlier, I'm going to try and encourage the shoulder girdle to help me go a little bit deeper. So as I turn to look over the right shoulder, I'm going to push the back of my left shoulder behind. So I'm going to pull the left shoulder back. So I can feel a little bit more stretch down the side of the neck. Then I'm going to ease back. I'm going to turn to look over the left shoulder, and then I'm going to push the right shoulder back, or push the right shoulder into the mat. Then easing back, returning the head back to the middle, and then I'm going to try again. So turn to look around, turn to look behind with the right shoulder, pushing that left shoulder back, opening the left side of the chest a little bit more. Return, turning to look behind that left shoulder, and then drawing the right shoulder back at the same time. Coming back, and then to the other side. One more time each way. So turning to the right, pull back the left shoulder. Turning to the left, pulling back the right. And easing back. Returning the head back to the middle, relaxing the shoulders, releasing, relaxing through the neck. So a little bit more release through the neck. I'm going to go back into the arms again. This time, to reach to that top shelf, this is something heavy that I've got to pick up. So I can't pick it up with one hand, I have to use both hands. So instead of reaching one arm at a time, I'm going to raise both arms up, and then I'm going to take them down. I'm going to raise them both up, and then take them down. So same as you did for the single, you know which one is the stiff shoulder as you move through the arm. So I know that my right arm doesn't go as far as my left. I've got to pay a little bit more attention to the right arm. As I lift them both, to see if I can lift them together. So making sure that one arm is not going further than the other. So I'm quite happy getting to that top shelf. Again, I want to try and get to the shelf above that top shelf, the one that I don't often use. So I'm going to reach up, and then I'm going to try and stretch a little bit higher, and then coming back. See if this time you can feel that tension hitting the midsection of the body. So it's the intra-abdominal pressure is the core set around the middle that is helping me lift just a fraction more before I ease the arms back down. So I'm going to lift them up, reach them higher, and then releasing back. As much as you can, see if you can look at the top shelf. So if the box drops, it doesn't drop on my head. I can see the box. So I'm going to look, try to grab it, and then bring it down. Then I'm going to lift it back on the shelf, put it on the top one, and then release it back. Then I'm going to lift again. I'm going to grab it and pull it down, and then put it back onto that very top shelf, and then release it back. 2 more. So I'm going to lift, reach further, and come back. Lift, reach further, and release it down. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, so there's a little bit more activation through the shoulder girdle, the shoulder joint. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit more movement into the upper back. So I've got a little extension going. What I want this time is a little rotation. So imagine to be sitting in the car. I'm going to turn to put my seatbelt on. So I'm going to rotate to the right, and with the left arm, I'm going to reach across to grab hold of my seatbelt and then pull it. Then I'm going to reach to the left with the right arm. I'm going to reach across to grab hold of the seatbelt and then pull it. So I'm going to reach across with the right, pull back to the center, reach across with the left, pull back to the center, alternating one side and the other. If I'm lying down, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to reach more than across, and as the mat is behind me, I'm just going to reach off to the side a little bit more and then pull back, and then reach the other way and then pull back. The hips are staying on the ground, so I'm not moving the hips. I'm just turning the shoulders, rolling from one shoulder over to the other. One shoulder over to the other. 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back to the middle. Now imagine that when you sat in the car this time, the seat was pushed all the way to the front. So the seat belt is actually a lot further behind. So this time I'm going to use the other arm to help me reach further. So I'm going to reach across with the right arm, and then with the left arm I'm going to reach over and then see if I can pull that right arm a fraction further. Then I'm going to come back, I'm going to reach across with the left arm, and then with the right arm I'm going to try and reach a little bit more. Come back and then swap side. So I'm going to reach across with the other arm. I'm going to help me reach a little bit further, come back, reach across with the other arm a little bit further, and then coming back. Same as before, just trying to encourage a little bit more movement, just making sure that the slightly bigger movement is not causing me pain. If it is causing me pain, then I'm going to drop the second part. I'm just going to reach with one, come back, and then reach with the other, and then come back. 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. And then what I want is to reverse the movement. What I want, instead of closing, so reaching across, I want to try and open as much as I can. So if you're lying down, I want you to roll over onto the side. If you're sitting up, I'm going to hold my left arm nice and still. With the right arm, I'm going to swing around, and then I'm going to open to the right. So I'm going to rotate out, but this time I'm trying to open up the right shoulder and the front of the chest. Then I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to repeat it on the same side. So I'm going to turn and open, and then coming back. If you're seated, see if you can focus on the shoulders. So as I turn to open, can I keep the palm of my hand facing up? Can I keep the elbow soft? Can I make sure that the shoulder is not feeling awkward, it's not feeling stiff, it's not feeling painful? And then coming back. So imagine to be offering a tray of glasses to the person behind. So I'm going to hold the tray in my hand, and then I'm going to try and turn and offer it to the person behind me. And then I'm going to come back and then repeat it again. If I'm laying down, I'm just going to get into our standard opening and closing door. So the bottom shoulder, I'm going to pull it forward. The head is resting on the block, on the pillow, or on the mat. I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to open the arm. I'm going to turn, rotate, and then I'm going to rotate my way back. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. And releasing back, releasing the shoulder, releasing the back. We're going to repeat the same on the left side, on the other side. So if I'm lying down, I'm going to roll over onto the other side, set myself in the same position. If I'm seated up, I don't need to do anything. I'm just going to picture the tray of glasses balancing on my left hand. On my left hand, I'm going to turn to the back, offer the glasses to the person behind me, and then I'm going to come back. Then again, I'm going to rotate and open. And then easing back. So noticing the movement on this side. Can I turn better? Can I turn more? Again, is the arm in a good position? Does it feel awkward? Does it feel right? Can I find a better position to turn and open to the side? 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders, releasing the back, upper body should be feeling a little bit looser, a little bit more relaxed. I'm going to go for a little circle, so really trying to loosen up a little bit more. So think of 1 arm at a time. So I'm going to circle the right arm around, and then I'm going to circle the left. Circle the right, and then circle the left. If I'm seated, I'm going to use my space. So see if I can really try to use as much space as possible to make that circle with the arm. If I'm lying down, I'm a little bit more limited, but I can still roll gently from one side to the other to encourage a little bit more movement into the shoulder, into the arm, and into the back, a gentle rocking from side to side. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Then allowing the upper body a little rest. I'm going to try and focus on the hips and the legs. So starting off with a little pelvic tilt, just loosening up the lower back. So I'm going to tilt the pelvis, I'm going to press the lower back gently into the mat, and then back into neutral. Tilting and releasing that tilt. So if I'm lying down, I can use the floor underneath to guide me. What I want is the lower back to touch the floor and then to lift away. To touch the floor and to lift away. If I'm seated, imagine your back against the chair. So I'm going to try and press the lower back into the chair, and then I'm going to try and pull it away. Press it into the chair and then pull it away. So I'm going to rock onto the back of the seat bins and then see if I can sit nice and tall over the seat bins. Rock onto the back of the seat bins and then nice and tall over the seat bins. So really trying to mobilize the lumbar spine. It's a little movement, I'm not trying to go too deep or too far, just trying to relax into that rocking. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Lumbar a little bit looser. I'm going to try and focus on the legs. what I want is to try and encourage the muscle first to connect, to switch on. So if I'm lying down, so that I don't need to strain the arm or the shoulder, I'm going to put the ball or the pillar between my right hand and my right leg. If I'm seated up, I can do the same. I can put the ball in there, or I can put the hand directly onto the leg. So it's entirely up to you. And then from there, I'm going to try and push down with the hand into the pillow, into the leg, and then trying to lift that leg up into the pillow, into the hand. So I'm going to try and squeeze the ball between the two and release. Squeeze the ball between the two and release. So see if I can try and find that tension, that little twitching into the front of the right hip and into the front of the belly. So pushing down or pushing away with the hands and then trying to lift the right foot to the right leg. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one, I'm going to push and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Relaxing the hip and releasing the leg. Hopefully I feel a little bit more connection right at the front of the hip on that side. I'm going to try and find the same on the left side. So I'm going to place the ball between the left thigh and the left hand, or both hands, or just put the hand directly onto the leg if I'm sitting up. And then exactly the same pressure. With the hand I'm going to push down, with the leg I'm going to try and lift up. 1, and relax. Squeeze and release. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one, I'm going to hold the pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Relaxing the hip or releasing the leg. So again, hopefully a little bit more connection to the front of the hip. I'm going to try and see if I can use those muscles now. They're a little bit more switched on. So I'm going to push the ball, push the pillow to the side. If I still feel that I need a little support, I can put the strap around the right leg or use the hand around the back of the leg. And then this time I'm going to try and lift the foot off the floor. So same as it did for the ball, this time the pressure down is not there. So in a way it should be easier. What I want is to find the same connection into the front of the hip and then trying to pull the leg up. And then I'm going to pop it back down. Lifting it up and then popping it back down. So see if I can make those muscles that I'm just trying to turn on work to create that lift. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and releasing back. Allowing the leg to relax, allowing the front of the hip to soften, to have a little rest. We're going to repeat the same thing with the left side. So same as I did on the right, I might switch the strap around the left leg or using the hand around the back of the leg to support it. And then I'm going to try the same thing with the left side. So again, what I want is that little tension at the front of the hip that's going to help me lift the leg and then lower it back. Lift it and then lower it back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10, and releasing back, relaxing the hip and releasing the leg. So there's a little bit more connection to the front of the hip. What I want is to reverse the effort, to bring it to the back of the hip, back of the bum. So I'm just going to set the legs in a comfortable position and just to focus on the right and the left bum cheek. I'm going to try and clench the right bum cheek and relax, clench the left and relax. Clench the right, clench the left, clench the right, clench the left. So keeping the little squeeze going. As the muscle tenses underneath, it becomes a little bit harder, so it's almost like as if it's pushing you up slightly on that side. So I can feel myself rocking slightly from one side to the other. If you find that one side that doesn't seem to be switching on, so as much as I'm trying, I don't seem to be able to connect it, then clench both. So I'm going to clench both and relax. Clench both and relax. Clench both and relax. And then once I can feel that the both are switching on, maybe just to start to paying a little bit more attention to one side and then to repeat the same thing on the other side. So see if I can gradually try to separate the right from the left side. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, releasing the hips and releasing the legs. And then I'm going to see if I can now try to put a little bit more weight into the legs. I'm going to walk the feet just a little bit closer to the hips, especially if I'm sitting on the chair, and then leaning forward, using the hands on the thighs, on the head, the hands on the side of the chair or the table in front of me. If I've got something in front, I'm going to squeeze with both bum cheeks, push down through the feet as if I was trying to lift my hips off the chair. And then I'm going to come back. So I'm going to lean forward, squeezing my way up, and then releasing down. So if you could just a little lift off, and then I'm going to ease the hips down. If I'm laying down, I'm going to bridge my way up. So pushing down through the feet to squeeze into the back of the bum. I'm going to raise the hips as high as I feel comfortable going. And then I'm going to ease back. Squeezing with the bum, driving down with the feet. See if I can come up slightly. And then easing back again. 2 more. Pushing down through the feet, squeezing with the bum up into that little lift. And coming back. Last one, pushing down through the soles of the feet, squeeze into that lift. And releasing back. Giving the legs a little shake, making sure that the back of the leg doesn't feel too stiff, it doesn't feel too tight. And then I'm going to switch the effort. Again, you see this time I can bring it to the inside of the legs, so the inner thigh. So I'm going to put the pillow or the ball between the knees. Stepping the feet a little bit closer together. I want you to focus on one leg at a time. So I'm going to try and squeeze my right leg into the ball and release. Squeeze my left into the ball and release. Squeeze my right. Squeeze my left. Squeeze my right. Squeeze my left. As you're squeezing into the ball, same as you did for the gums, same as you did for the glutes. If I find that one leg I don't seem to be able to find a good connection to that leg, I'm going to try and squeeze with both legs at the same time. So see if I can merging the two efforts into one. Or just using the hand on that side to help me guide the leg in the direction that I want the leg to press, I want the leg to go, I want the leg to squeeze. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it back. Releasing the hip, releasing the inner thigh. Hopefully a little bit more connection to the inside of the leg. I want now to work onto the side of the hip. So I'm going to grab hold of the band of the strap this time, and then I'm just going to wrap it around the thighs. I'm going to put a little bow or a little knot to keep it in place. And then keeping it around the bottom of the thigh, so close to the knee joint, but not on the knee joint. I'm going to walk the feet nice and close together. And then again, one leg at a time, I'm going to push out into the band. So I'm going to push out with my right, ease that tension, push out with the left, and then ease the tension. So see if I can find the connection into the side of the hip, into the side of the bum. So I'm going to push out with one, come back, push out with the other, come back. Using the hand again to help me guide that leg in the direction I want it to move. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last time. And releasing back, releasing the hips and releasing the leg. I'm going to undo the band and then push it to the side. Releasing the hip, releasing the leg. So a little bit more connection to the inside and the outside of the leg. I'm going to try and see if I can move them together without anything resisting, without anything making it harder. So I'm going to take a deep breath in. As I breathe out, I'm going to try and pull the knees out to the side, away from each other. And then I'm going to squeeze them together. I'm going to try and pull them out and away from each other, and then squeeze them together. I can use the hands again to help me guide the legs out, and then help me come back in again. So pushing them out, and then bring them in again. 4, 3, 2. Last one, I'm going to open out as much as I can, and then I'm going to hold. If I'm lying down, I can use the hands or just let gravity do the pulling. If I'm sitting up, as I can't really use gravity, as gravity is not helping me here, I'm just going to use the hands on the inside of the legs and then a little push out to see if I can encourage a little bit more opening through the inner thigh. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to ease back. I'm going to squeeze the legs together. If I'm laying down, I'm going to let the legs roll to the right. If I'm sitting up, I'm going to reach across with my right hand to that left knee and then pushing the legs to the right to see if I can encourage a gentle stretch down the side of the hip and then across the back. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easing back to center, taking the legs to the left. And with the left arm, I'm just going to reach across and then push them across to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and releasing back. Relaxing the hips, adjusting the legs. If you're lying down, rolling over onto one side, and in your own time, pushing yourself up into sitting. Finding a comfortable seated position again. See if you can, same as you did at the beginning, encourage the space at the front. So encouraging the diaphragm to descend down into that breath, allowing a more relaxed breath instead of that compressed, that hard breath that is going to come up onto the neck, that is going to come up onto the collarbone. Using the hands to offer a little support or lean onto something if I needed to. And then I'm going to start lengthening and opening up more of the front. So think of a band that goes from the chin to the pubic bone. What I want is to stretch it, to lengthen it. So I'm going to try and lift up. I'm going to try and look up. I'm going to look back. I'm going to extend. And then in reverse, I'm going to flex. I'm going to tuck the chin in, round the shoulders, round the back. I'm going to come forward as far as I feel comfortable. And then back up again. Extending, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then flexing, chin to the chest, rounding the shoulders, the upper back, the lower back if I can. And then last arm, extending up. Looking forward, looking up, looking back to see if I can really open up through the chest, lifting through the chest, lengthening through the front of the neck. And then releasing, coming forward. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take it well. Give yourself a clap on that. Any question or anything as usual, please.